So when you are a kid, basically the world that you're living in is huge. You are there to explore, to see new things, and to experience stuff that you've never experienced before. Then you get a little bit older, world is still big, but you are kind of like YOLO and you do things without fear. You explore even further along the world, along your life. But it gotten a little bit smaller because suddenly you have to do school, maybe a new job, and then the older you get, more responsibilities pile on and things you have to attend to, things that are weighing on your shoulder, and your experiences make you a little bit more fearful, and you know that when you do this, then that happen. And you also know, okay, if I do this, I might get hurt and my recovery time takes much longer. And yeah, the older you get, the smaller your world becomes. And actually, before I continue, I really want to shout out the creator. Hold on, I wrote it down. Tiger Time, Tiger, and then Tyme. I will link it in the description below. With his video, Gaming, Reading, and the Meaning of Life. And the video really started a train of thought, and definitely go watch that video. He made a really good point, and that video struck a nerve with me because I totally agree, but I never thought about it that way. That the older we get, the world becomes smaller due to our experiences, due to the hardships, due to the hurt and mistakes that we made, just become smaller. Maybe not all negatively, but also because, we potentially have a family, kids, and stuff like that. We just can't explore that much, or we don't have the time, or we don't have the money, or whatever it might be. Or maybe we have the money, but and the time potentially, and we just don't want to, or we are used to a specific thing potentially. For example, I would argue that many people in over 40 would rarely go backpacking without actually knowing, okay, what's the next hotel? What is my travel itinerary? Where should I go? Rarely people in that age would just go out and, let's book the cheapest flight with a backpack and just go for it. And that's basically something that happens the older you get. And Tiger Time in this video said something because of these responsibilities. Video gaming, especially open world games, give you the opportunity to let your world become bigger again. And since playing games like Hogwarts Legacy and now currently Witcher 3, where I really found the joy in not utilizing fast traveling but actually walking, Tiger Time really made a very good point that especially the older you get, the more responsibilities you have. And those of you who have kids, not having the time to explore in the real world, but giving yourself those brief moments of the day to play a game that is open world, or even if it's not open world, just playing a game lets you kind of explore again and rediscover things without the dangers, in air quotes, dangers of, I don't know, financial burden by booking a flight or taking risk by jumping down a cliff or fighting monsters and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, this is obviously a very oversimplified and very romantic thought of gaming where you tell yourself, okay, I cannot explore the world, so I'm exploring the world inside the game. Don't get me wrong, it's a very romanticized and very oversimplified viewpoint on gaming. But I do agree that especially the older we get, the more responsibilities we have, the more weights on our shoulders, and our schedules are so packed with these responsibilities. it is hard to just explore and do something else. It is really hard, and especially if you have a long day, you I mean, some people would do that, but go out at night and just explore the city. Most people either won't do it or are just way too exhausted. And most of the times, let's be real, I would argue that the biggest part of people in society, instead of doing something like gaming, for example, where you could virtually explore, just sit at a couch and explore TikTok and Instagram. And it's not really exploring, it's just passively consuming. And like I've said in many videos previously, that gaming is an interactive way of consuming something, and therefore, in my humble opinion, is a really good tool to not only relearn to focus on something, because for me personally, when I'm gaming, I actually notice that being in a game like Witcher 3 never ever, or at least very, 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 very rarely, gave me the itch to grab my phone and scroll on Instagram when I'm watching a movie sometimes. And I know this is a mistake on my part and this is a fault on me. I noticed that sometimes when I watch a movie or a series in the past, I suddenly grabbed my phone and I was suddenly on Instagram with a game like Witcher or Hogwarts Legacy. I did not notice that. I was playing because I was occupying both of my hands. I needed to do something interactively, and even if I would watch a cutscene, there would be prompts. Okay, how you want to answer this question? What do you want to ask next? It's not just like an air quote. No, it's not air quotes. It's passively watching a movie is passively consuming something. I would say that is still a good way, but most people passively consume TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and most of the times drift away and not concentrate on that one thing. With gaming, it's a totally different story. And now also kind of let's put this argument on the table or on the scale that not only is it an interactive story, that helps you to focus on one thing, but now you can also kind of in air quotes argue that this is something where you can explore, just like you've done when you were a kid, explore the world without any hesitations. And I really like that thought process that Tiger Time put on the table, because, again, it's an oversimplified, very romantic viewpoint on gaming, and there are many negative points of gamings. However, if you kind of play games with an intention, with the self-reflection of, okay, I'm not doing this to escape my problems. I'm not doing this to escape the world or do it instead of going on vacation, because traveling is great. Please go travel if you can. But let's also be real. Traveling is hard, especially with the economy and with the wars going on. Gas, fuel prices, flight tickets are really expensive at the moment compared to 2 years ago. And yeah, we have rarely the time to explore and to do these kind of things. And most people rather opt to sit on the couch and, as I said, doom scroll. And if you kind of consider gaming, and especially open world gaming, as something where you can kind of switch your mind to something else, it becomes a very beautiful thing. But again, like with everything, it comes down to the intention, the moderation, and the purpose. For example, a completely different story, because I believe there will be some comments that are looking at gaming at a negative perspective. And I get that there are examples where it's negative. But let's switch, as I said, moderation, purpose, and the goal. Those are the three things that you keep in mind. So if you, for example, go to the gym, but you never rest, so no moderations, no, I don't even know if moderation is, do it moderately. If you overdo something, that's what I wanted to say. If you do overdo something, it's never good. So imagine going to the gym. You go there every single day, no rest days for a month. Your body will get destroyed. So and it's the same thing with gaming. If you do it every single day and totally neglect your chores, your responsibilities, it's not going to be great. Same thing with going to the gym. If you overdo anything, if you overdo eating sweets, if you overdo, I don't know, just eating broccoli because you think, oh, that's a vegetable, it's not going to be great for you. I don't know why this broccoli example came to mind. But yeah, if you overdo something, it would never be great. If you go to the gym for the single purpose of looking good and looking bulky, then suddenly, you know that meme or that video where you have this real muscly dude and someone puts a post-it on his back and he cannot go on his back to remove the post-it because his arms are just way too bulky. So and I don't know him. I don't know this person, and I'm maybe unjustifiably use him as a example. But I feel like some people do something for the wrong reasons, and if you only do it purely to look good or to look like really strong, and there are also other examples where people are really bulky and they go into a cage fight and they think just because of their size, but they never even fought or did any combat training. They just think that, oh, I'm strong and therefore I can beat up someone else. And you see so many examples where that goes wrong. If you do it only to look great, then obviously it doesn't work. And the same thing with gaming. If you only do it to escape and to, yeah, get away from your responsibilities, it's not going to be great. And same thing with fitness. Next thing is, what's your goal? And so the first thing, purpose, and the next one is goal. If your goal is just to be strong, it's going to be a very single focused thing, and it's probably not the right goal to have. If your goal is to be, oh, I want to stay as capable and fit as long as possible the older I get, that's a good goal. And with gaming, like I always say, for me, it's a really good tool to have here on my desk. And whenever I'm in a stressful work day and I have to think about something very intensely, I like to game for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just to reset my mind, my brain, in concentrating on the game in order to get refreshed to whatever I had to work on. Because this fresh perspective gives me, this resetted brain gives me a fresh perspective on what I have to do. And at night, when I'm sitting on the couch to relax, I game because that is a really good tool for me to, in air quotes, relearn and practice undivided attention, the single focus on one thing. Because during the day, my mind is scattered. I have notifications, I have emails, I have maybe, oh, there's a new YouTube video, I want to watch that, and while I'm working at the same time. So my brain is all over the place and not focused usually on just one thing. And gaming at night gives me the opportunity to, somehow let my mind rest because its attention is just on one single thing. I feel like Tiger Time really struck a nerve with me that gaming is something that us adults need because our world has become smaller, and gaming in open world games gives us the opportunity to explore again and kind of widen our experience in a way. As long as you really dedicate yourself to the game. Obviously, if you just go into an open world game and just want to check off all of the quest log, then obviously that doesn't work. But if you give yourself the opportunity to just experience the game and just tell yourself, okay, I'm not going to fast travel. I'm just going to walk here, look at the scenery. Oh, okay, what's that? Let's explore there. Oh, there's a question mark. Let's go there. What's going on there? Then it's a completely different story. Yeah, what are your thoughts about this? So maybe check out Tiger Time. That video was amazing. Shout out to him. Maybe he watches this video as well. If you do, please comment below. And if you have any questions, thoughts, also comment below. And maybe check out one of my other Witcher videos, maybe the one from Undivided Attention. Check it up here. YouTube thinks you like the video down here, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button up here. That way we see each other in the next video. Thank you very much.